Hi, thanks for coming to the 20-minute academy. Um, I hope some people will still sign in. We'll give it another 2 minutes. Welcome to the 20-minute academy. This week we are going to talk about Twitter, specifically following and followers, although the overlaying principles are the same really for every social network. Before we get started, I hope that you're seeing this live right now, but if you watch the recording, please consider coming to the live event next week or any week, and the sign-up link is right under this video. Mainly because that way I can get to your questions right away, and it makes the session more interesting. You see here on the side, there's a chat box here. Put your questions in there, and I will get to them either in between or right after the event. If you're watching this as a recording, please put your questions in the comments or just shoot me an email or whatever is your preferred way of communicating with me. So let's get going. I'm going to share my screen. Episode 2 is all about Twitter followers and following, and this is a big question that a lot of people on Twitter are confused about or have different opinions. And all I can do is share my opinions. I started Twitter in 2009, so not from the first day, but almost. And Twitter has changed a lot, but the way I treat Twitter followers and following hasn't really changed that much. So we're going to talk about those in general and show you a few things how I look at my followers and my following. There are different people on Twitter. There's different levels of experience, different goals. Twitter is really more and more a utility for a lot of things. Every website has a link to share these things on Twitter. Twitter is a great news source, and so on and so on. I could easily fill an hour with all the benefits of Twitter. It has its drawbacks too, as it's not as intuitive as some other tools. But the big advantage is that you can meet people that you would not otherwise be able to reach. So in general, it's a great way of attracting brand ambassadors or people that like to talk about your business or your cause. It's always good to be a human first and a brand second. You want to connect with the right people. You want to be seen as a thought leader. You want to be seen as the go-to person for your topic. You want to build trust, and this is a big thing, and we're going to get to this later. And you have to realize that social media is part of your brand. So basically, it's more the way you interact with your surroundings, with your supplier, business partners, customers, potential customers, and so on. That's more a brand than your logo or your business name or the color of your car. So in terms of followers and following, there are different trains of thought, and especially for Twitter and Facebook, I really believe that the quality of the connections is way more important than the quantity. So you want to find people that share information that is valuable to you. You want to find people that tweet that are easy to read. So if you don't know all the abbreviations, or like, for example, one of my pet peeves is Twitter users that capitalize everything. So things like that. Or if they're tweeting in a language you don't read, or like find people that tweet in the languages that you read. You want to find people whose updates are well researched, not always goofy. You want to find people that talk about your topics, that have your style. And a great way is to find people that are local. You want to find people with a large network. You want to find people that are eager to share. You want to find people that have a certain authority. People that follow people back. So a lot of famous people just have 1 million followers and follow 10 people back. That's really a sign of that there's not going to be a lot of conversation. So unless you want to be able to follow every step of that celebrity, that don't expect too much of that relationship. So you will hear a lot of people talk about social proof, and there's a lot of misunderstanding what social proof is. In a nutshell, social proof means that, okay, if a page or a person has a lot of people following them, or a lot of people talking to them, a lot of people shared their blog post, that means that a lot of people really value what they say. So that's a good thing. So it's good to be that popular or that much of a resource. But there's also a misunderstood version of social proof, and I like to explain that with these two coffee shops. So imagine you have two coffee shops side by side, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and there's a lot of people wanting coffee. So you're new in town, and you want to have the best coffee in town. So there's one coffee shop that has a small lineup. People are waiting in that lineup. Then there's one that has a way longer lineup. Like, people are lined up outside the door. So, so what do you think? Where's the better coffee? What do you think the better coffee would be? Well, if you're like me, I would assume that the better coffee is at the coffee shop with the longer lineup. But what about if you find out that part of these people, or a large number of these people, are actually paid to be in the lineup for you to end up in that same lineup? You would feel cheated. I would never go into that coffee shop again. And it's the same thing with Twitter followers. You can buy Twitter followers. I think the rate that I've seen is it's about 1,000 followers for $10, and you'll find these offers in your Twitter DMs and your Twitter followers all the time. And don't fall for it. If I go and see that you have 100 tweets and you have 10,000 followers, you're either famous or you bought those followers. And if I can't trust you on building your following properly and with time, and have real followers or interest in real followers, why should I trust you with anything else? So this is a very important factor of social proof, and this is something that I believe will become more and more important as our economy moves more and more towards social interactions. So that new economy is built on trust. Actually, it's the old economy that is built on trust as well, but And just like the same as there, buying trust doesn't really work. You have to build trust over time. So do not ever, ever buy followers in any way. Even gaining followers with contests is kind of a double-edged sword. On one hand, you might be attracting people that you want to attract. On the other hand, you will attract people that just want the prize. So it's better to build your audience by being active and engaging and interesting and social. Basically, have conversations, interact with people. Don't go to Twitter only like every once a week or something like that, or when you get a notification that somebody mentioned you. Find people by keyword searches. Search the people that talk about your topics. Twitter suggests new accounts to follow. Unfortunately, even dead accounts, but usually the Twitter suggestions go are locals. So find the locals and see who they are talking to find new followers. Often, if you follow somebody, they will follow you back unless they never look at Twitter. Twitter chats are a great way of getting exposure and finding the people that are active. Avoid people that have in their bio like hashtag follow back or team follow back or things like that. Those are just schemes to inflate numbers. Avoid spammers. It's not worth your time, and we'll look at some of those accounts in a minute. Avoid the people that only stream their Facebook or their other accounts to Twitter. Like, I don't know why people would even do that. Like, do not link your Facebook account to your Twitter account unless you post very little to Facebook and a lot to Twitter. And avoid eggheads. That's a bit of a joke, eggheads. Like, if somebody doesn't bother uploading a profile image and writing a bio, I don't think they're serious about being there. I won't spend time even consider building a relationship to them. And that's because I have a lot of people that I need to vet and that I want to convert. But any time I can spend on this technical stuff, any time I can save, sorry, on this technical stuff, I can spend engaging with people and building real relationships. So avoid those people, and again, we'll get to that when we go to my live website. There are some tools that can help you sort through those accounts, and I like the tool ManageFlitter. It's ManageFlitter.com. That gives me a lot of opportunity to find people. And there's this fake followers, and you can find fake followers. I wrote a blog post about this a while ago, and you can get rid of fake followers by blocking them. And if you have a lot because somebody bought Twitter accounts for you, Twitter followers for you, you might have to actually go and load a script to find them and to block them. Although if you only if your account is clean, still you're going to get people that actually use Twitter only to spam or not really there, and they are considered fake followers. There's a calculation that is called a spam score. So people that don't really use Twitter, or people that only tweet the same thing all the time, or only like post links to shady websites, they get a bad spam score. So right now, I looked last night, and I have 4 accounts that are fake followers, and I can go in into ManageFlitter and block them. And as you see, the spam score is only about between 60 and 70%. Often you'll find spam scores that are around 90 or 100%. But I do this on a regular basis, and so that that number is fairly low. So the other tool I do use is the Twitter website. It's twitter.com. I don't use it as much as other people because I use Hootsuite most of the time because of some of the advantages. There are a few advantages of using Twitter. Twitter.com. One of them is that in the Twitter stream, the pictures that are directly posted to Twitter appear open right away. And the other thing is that you can see followers and following like we did here. So I'm just going to get out of my screen sharing here. I hope you are all still with me. And I'm going to share a different screen. And that would be my Twitter account. And as you can see, I upgraded to the new profile with a big cover image in here. Some people call it jokingly the Twacebook because it's very much like Facebook. We can do, if you like, just indicate below this this recording if you would be interested in going through the new layout. I quite like it. There's a lot of really nice nice things about it. You have to be careful because it looks different on a mobile device than on the desktop. I'm showing you desktop here, but most people, or a lot of people, will probably access Twitter on their mobile devices. So here we are, and under the tab Followers, I get the newest followers, that the people that recently followed me. And now with the new layout, in the old layout, they're all in a list view underneath each other. In the new layout, it's a lot easier to see these. And you can also see how important it is to update your to have a cover image and write a bio, because they show up here. So with one glance, I can go in and see if I want to follow these people. Bernice Page has a bio. It's very, very short, but if I'm into that, I can follow her. Scott Olford is obviously into marketing strategy. I'll follow him. Liz Strauss followed me because we had a conversation on Twitter yesterday. I'm a big fan. There's one of those spammers, Arbor Crutcher. I will send Facebook fans and likes to your page for 18 hours for $5. So this is definitely somebody that I will not follow. I will not block him because usually these accounts, because they can only follow 2,000 at the same time, they will drop off. If I don't follow them back after a while, they will drop off. Jeffrey obviously has a lot of Twitter accounts. Tweets are my own. That's I hope so. And there's also let's see if we can find some others. See, a lot of people, you see that a lot of people I followed, so they follow back. So that's quite interesting. I do actually follow a lot of people back. I don't know. I won't go through all of this with you. There is what I do. The other group of people I don't follow is people that have private accounts, because I don't think that is a very smart way of using Twitter. I don't want to apply to you to see your tweets. If you want to have only people that are close to you see your tweets, and then I'm obviously not that. And so that's my stance. I know I've gotten into trouble about this before, but I'm sticking to it. Oh, we're up to 20 minutes, very close, and I hope you got a lot of value out of it. Please sign up to next week's webinar, and please let me know what topics you're interested in so I can really gear this to your questions. We are off to social media camp in Victoria, so if you follow me on Twitter, hashtag SMCamp will be the place to be. I also put the hashtag stream on my Facebook, so if you see the app and you're not on Twitter, you can see my updates there. We will be there from Thursday through Saturday, and I'll be traveling back on Monday. So this is very exciting. Come along on the trip. This is going to be great. You see here on my cover image, I'm changing my name to Bluebird Business Consulting from Tweet4OK. So this post will actually be posted on bluebirdbc.com or businessbluebird.com under the 20 Minute Academy. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you next week.